Ah, there I am. Hello. So I'm going to be doing some stuff tonight. I'm going to be sharing that we're doing this live to everybody. So just give me a second to share that out. So how are you guys? So finally, I'm going to get to sharing Broke Down in 4 Dead Bodies, my live commentary. I've been meaning to do this for a while, so I'm going to do that while we're doing this live. And if I see any comments, I will address those comments as I see them. But let me share everyone that we're doing this. It's super exciting. So just give me a second. So, and the reason why I'm sharing it out is just to make sure we have commentary. Any questions about issue 1? So what we did was we added an award for one of our stretch goals was commentary 1 and 2. And I've been meaning to do this for a real long time. But I never got around to it. The reason why is because we have a baby. Me and my wife wanted to do it together, and we just never got around to it. So this is tonight. I'm going to have the opportunity. Everything seemed to be quiet around my house, so I was like, "Hey, let's give it a try." So I figured I would go live and do this. So if anybody's watching, hi, how are you? Today's been a great day. My YouTube channel is going to start getting a little bit more active. If you guys check out the YouTube channel, there's going to be all sorts of really cool stuff coming to it. So we just added the Cthulhu art and just a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So check that out. But today we're going to talk to you about Broke Down in 4 Dead Bodies #1. So this is my original comic. This is the original cover. That's why I decided to use it. So we're going to go over it page by page, and I'm going to tell you stories as I go through about it, what's going on. I'm not really going to read it for you, but I'm going to kind of go through it and all that. All right. So the first thing I'm going to go through is the credits. So the credits, story by me, Travis Gibb. We have art by Felix Navarra. We have colors by J.W. Sims. J.W. Sims is color. So that and Jerome Gadden is the letterer. So that team has done every single book. They have been part of on some level. JW has done less coloring on some than others, but he has been on every book, which is pretty cool. We have some pinups in here, and then I have special thanks to Chuck, Tree Monkey, my son Stephen, Matthew Doherty, Catherine Parlow, my wife Heather Gibb, and David Greshel. So all of them got it. And this is in memory of my mom, Diane, and Jennifer Riley, who died. Jennifer Riley was a huge supporter of me when we were doing comics early on when I was doing this stuff. So it's really cool to have her in the book, and I was really proud to do it. But yeah, that is what's going on. That was the first issue. So one of the first things you may notice is the title of the story. The title of the story is called "It Just Won't Quit." And that title of that story, "It Just Won't Quit," is in reference to a Meatloaf record. So Meatloaf is a huge fan of mine, and that as a song on Meatloaf is "It Just Won't Quit," which is a great album from Bat at Hell 2. It's a great song. So every comic book I've ever written that's an ongoing series will have a musical reference to it. So this one, every episode is basically based off of a musical or based off a band. So for this particular one, it is Meatloaf. For other ones, it's going to be other stuff. For instance, Voodoo Magic is Voodoo Magic. Voodoo, the Voodoo Nations, which is coming out later this year, is all Queen songs. So that's interesting. So we're going to go to the first issue, the first page. So there we meet Denver and we meet Randy. Mr. Washington, and we meet Denver. Sorry, stumbling a lot here, and I apologize. We start with a flashback. So all Broke Down issues start with a 5-page flashback. This is the only one that doesn't. This one starts with a 3-page. It was actually 2.5-page flashback. And what I originally had James do is he had the black and white backgrounds. See the black and white backgrounds, and then with the color added. So later we decided to change that, but I originally wanted only the main characters to be colored to kind of show that we're having a flashback. Worked out really well when we first started, but as it progressed, I felt it was a weak storytelling process. So we went through that. We started resolving that and fixing that. In this particular scene, Denver and Mr. Washington are meeting for the first time. This is where they meet. They meet at the convenience store, and he tries to help hold them up. And Mr. Washington finds that cute and decides to hire them. We flash forward to today, which is in Colorado, Canyon City. So, interesting fact about Canyon City. So, we're going to start here with one of the major facts about Brokedown. So, Brokedown was originally planned to be set in New Hampshire. I was born and raised here. I wanted to be part of everything here. Well, I'm in Florida now, so here is irrelevant, but I wanted it to be set in New Hampshire. But when he started drawing deserts. Don't know why. I see we have some viewers, so hey, just leave a comment if you're here. I'd just love to say hi to you. He started drawing it and started to see like it was part of a desert. So we just stuck with it. And my wife's daughter, who is my stepdaughter, Naomi, was born in Canyon City. Canyon City happens to be a very rich place in Colorado. So not only has it tons of backgrounds of the KKK, which you'll see in future issues of Brokedown, but it also has huge prisons per capita. So I felt it was a great place to place Brokedown and Four Dead Bodies. It's a great setting. So we got Mr. Washington and Denver. Mr. Washington tells Denver that he is up for promotion. And then they start going out to where they need to go. That's 2 and 3. And then we enter Randy and Miguel. Now, Randy and Miguel, they're the two main people of this confrontation. The story really resolves around Randy and Miguel's relationship. And as for those who've read issue 3, you see it's pretty in-depth and pretty detailed. So we find out that Randy is coming out of prison. We're not sure why. He's done a 3 years for something, and for some reason Miguel seems to know what that was. So Randy and Miguel, have a little spat real quick, and then meet up Mr. Washington. Mr. Washington is sitting in the limo, and he offers him a deal. And one of the key words that I want mentioned in here, which you're going to find out more in issue 4. And he says it's a simple drop in exchange, nothing more. That is a key line that I want you to pay attention to when we get to the commentary for 4. It's going to really, that line's going to really hit you in the face, because that's been something I've been building for a long time, because everyone assumed at this point that it's a simple drop in exchange. Like it's you drop off one thing, pick up something else. Simple thing, but it was a little bit more than that. We skip ahead 4 days later. So now this 4 days later is a little confusing. Sorry, I'm trying to get this camera thing to work. This 4 days later is a little confusing. A lot of people really didn't like that jump, because we just got from 5 years before, then we've got 3 days later to 4 days. The 4 days later really confused people, and I get it. The reason why I put that in there is my original script and my original plan, and as you're writing, I had wanted to do some things during those 4 days. Probably if you see this in the trade or whatever, I'll probably get rid of that 4 days later, because it's not necessary for the story. It was at the time, because I was going to do some setup there, but I since changed my idea. Issue 4 is already being worked on, so I know that I'm not going to go back to that. I do need a little bit of transition time, but I do have some from when he's in his prison yellow, prison oranges, into the drive-up. So then we go to now, and this is everybody's favorite picture, the pushing the car down the street. This is where we find out that something went wrong. So between when we first see Denver and Randy meet together and finally cross paths, our dynamic duo, if you will, something has gone terribly, terribly wrong, and they are pushing a car down the street. And it is not looking good. There's some shadows of some bodies in it, but we don't quite reveal them at this point. And the two are having an argument. One of the key things that I found when I was a film writer in school, is my dialogue was always really real highlighted. A lot of people like to talk about my dialogue and acknowledge that I was a good dialogue writer. So I really wanted these two characters to get to know each other, to have a conversation, have a little confrontation. And this is the first start of that, is building that drama. The cusp of the story is these two guys broke down on the side of the road. So I really wanted them to be able to talk, converse, and have all sorts of fights. So this is the first thing where they're kind of talking about, hey, what went wrong? We don't even know that there's a scene of this. I was trying to get a little bit of Quentin Tarantino vibes, and that was intentional. My goal was to give you something you're familiar with, make you feel like this is Jules and Vincent. Like, that's what I wanted you to feel. But as we progressed, hopefully you'd see that there were deeper stories. And I think I've done that as we've gone. So here is one of the interesting things. So we go to here, this page, and we have, I'm not sure you can see, yeah, see the phone. So a lot of comments on that phone. They're like, is this a dated thing? Why does he have such an old phone? The reason why is this script was written in 2003 and put together in 2007. So that's why he has an old phone. When I decided to redo this comic, so basically what the basic story of the origin of Broke Down for Dead Bodies is I had it in a folder. I had issue 1 and 2 in a folder. And issue 1 and 2 basically became this issue and like 3 pages of issue 2, because I really wanted to make this issue strong. So I was willing to trash it. So there was old phones when we were doing this. That was kind of a modern phone. So I wrote a line in here that says this is a piece of shit burner phone, to help, compensate for that, and kind of explain that, when you're a gangster, you're not going to use the most modern phone. The older phones, tend to not be hackable or whatever. So that was kind of my writing out of that situation. But that's why it's in there, is because it was done way back in the day. So then we go to 3 hours earlier, and we meet, we meet the first group. So this is a gang that at this point doesn't even have a name. The name was later given to them by one of the backers for the issue, and the bank is called El Panteones. I can never pronounce it. El Panteones basically means fire pants in Mexican or Spanish rather. Mexican isn't really a language, and that's what they named him. And I liked it. It's okay, I like get to say a liar. So in the situation here, we see that they're looking at the case, and he said that there's no money. Now, clearly, one of the things to point out there, especially if you've read issue 2 and issue 3, you kind of know what may be in the case. But he says there's no money. He doesn't say the case is empty. A lot of people thought that the case was empty, but it wasn't. He just said there was no fucking money. So he was expecting money. He didn't get money. We learn in issue 3 what's in that case. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody if you haven't read issue 3, but we explain what that is. And even though I'm going page by page, I'm trying not to spoil. I'm only going to spoil this issue. I'm not going to spoil the other issues. This is one of my favorite panels, is the thud. So the thud in the head. So, and then we get lots of guns and lots of violence. We've got a lot of the banter. You have every situation under control. They're all fighting and shooting each other. I love this one right here, this panel. So it's pretty bloody. I love Jerome's lettering. I love his bangs, his blams. They have a unique look in this book and a unique style and Broke Down, and I like it. So then people love this line, and that so he goes, hey, we need to put the bodies in the trunk, and the first thing that that Denver says is, you can't, man, you can't put him in the trunk because he's got a system. And Denver loses his mind because Randy loses his mind. He's like, what do you mean you got a system? Does this shit have it locked? Do you tell me when you find yourself in multiple dead bodies in your car from time to time, do you fuck up so bad you develop a protocol for these situations? And then you find out that it's just the sound system. Like he's jacked up, and so he has some great tunes in the back. So they get the bodies together. 6 minutes and 8 arguments later, they're in the car going. Everyone talks about that line. I believe that's everyone's favorite line from this book. I'm okay with that. So Randy decides to call Miguel. He calls Miguel. Randy, the character of Randy was based off of a friend of mine, Steven, in high school. So Steven had this unique ability to turn to frustration and anger. He could bury all his stuff and then he could go like fiery in a minute. We used to what's called LARP together. So where we pretend to be characters and role play together. And he had this unique ability to do it. I love that style to him, and I always felt he'd be a great movie character. So I wrote the part for him. It's based off of him and his ability to do that. Denver's kind of a funny guy, always trying to make a humor. He's not really based off of anybody, but he's there for comic relief, and he's there to grow, and to have a development. If he was close to anybody, it'd probably be if ever seen Jeremiah. The Cosby kid, Theo Huxtable, I think is his name, and the one who he's in there. He's kind of based off of that character in Jeremiah. So they call Miguel. Miguel goes, "What's going on?" He looks around. One of the cool things is we know in issue 2, as a little spoiler here, I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but we know that there's a number on these cases, and we did a lot of paneling to make sure that we never see the cop of the case and any of the stuff in issue 1, because that's more reveal for issue 2. Miguel finds out that something is amiss and decides to fire on our gentleman. So there's big fire and big anime style stuff right there. My wife really loves this page. She loves the "You're Fired." We use this one as a sticker. A lot of people got the Miguel sticker in one of the campaigns. I think it was the second one. This is a great scene. It shows that Miguel's a bad guy, that he's not going to mess around. So the two guys, they Fast and the Furious out of there. Get it taken serious. As you see, they're not happy with the end result. This took a little bit to color because Jerome was working on really old art. Not Jerome. JW was working on old art, so he actually did a lot of drawing on a lot of these pages, adding some of the damages and stuff like that, because Felix didn't do that, and I was having Felix work on issue 2. So JW actually, even though he doesn't get a lot of credit, did a lot of the back end drawing on this, and he definitely should, because he was a big contributor. I mean, that's when one first gets the night. The night sky is so beautiful. So the two were talking. Randy and Denver were talking. They're talking about the case. They're talking about empties. And here's something, if for those who've read Broke Down, hopefully if you're watching this commentary that you've read Broke Down 1 and hopefully 2. When the two are fighting, you'll notice a key moment. So Denver says, whatever, feel how you want to feel. We were set up and shit. It doesn't matter. The fact that we got set up is a fucking problem. So Denver seems to be pushing Randy's button, and Randy just loses it. He starts punching him. And you see he's like really beating the shit out of him. They are fighting something fierce. One of the things that seems to really annoy Randy is the calling Mr. Washington and doing that every couple of seconds. He's not sure why, but it seems to really upset Randy. And they get to the point where they're almost killing each other. They've got guns and violence. I love these. These are really good. They're very violent, right up into each other's face, which I think is a really cool thing. And then we've got our cowboy who shows up in issue 2. And that's where we end it. Like I said, the main book, the main thing about this is the book was written in 2007. So this was years in the making. This book I'm so proud of. So this is the original cover. I had this made. For those who've seen the cover, we had a couple of different ones. So first one we had was this one. the pushing the cart on there. And this is the original art. I have it on my wall right over there. This is the original art. This was the unused cover, but it eventually ended up being used in a Wicked Gator exclusive, which is cool. This is the when I asked Felix in 2018, hey, do you want to finish this project? He would have had this cover for me, which is really great. And that's why you see in issue 1 and 2 the art drastically changed, because he got way better. And then we've got we've got the right here is the Carmeline cover, which is the guy who does Buffy and Frey and all that stuff. So yeah, that's the commentary for issue 1. Super proud of the book. There's a lot of insights that hopefully you got, and hopefully you enjoyed this little commentary treat that you guys had. I'm gonna be back with issue 2. We're gonna do that as a separate stream, but hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something about the book and got some insight that you may not have had and things to look at in the future. But thank you guys. Thank you for those who backed. Thank you for guys who are involved in it. This is a wonderful project. This is the first comic that I got to work on. It took a while to get out there, but I was super proud of it. We funded really, really well. People have had a great response to it, and there's more coming down the pike. So thank you for Broke Down 4 Bodies #1 commentary. Couple things to point out that I'd like to bring up just because we're talking about issue 1. So there's some original art. If you ever got the digital edition of the book, there's some additional art in the back, so you can see. Original had a scene where Randy was in prison, and we went over what that looks like for him in prison, which ties into the biker scenes, which you're going to see in issue 2. The other thing that you also see is if you've ever got the Advocator Winter Edition, there is a 0 in there, and that 0 actually was the first scene in Broke Down. So the scene that we have in issue 1 right here, that was originally with Randy and Denver walking into that scene. That was my original written script. Those 4 pages were done by Stephen Preston, the guy with this art right here. He's a good friend of mine out of Australia. He did the original art. I used that art and made a completely different story. That's a 4-page like backup to Broke Down and what it's going to be. So if you have a chance to get a hold of that, that gives you a little bit of cool insight, and it's reusing art in a new, exciting way. That's what we wanted to do with the Advocator, and I was proud to do that. So if you got that, that's kind of like the original concept for Broke Down and 4 Dead Bodies. I have a cover of that and stuff like that I can share. Actually, let's see if we can find it. Here, I can share a screen. Let's find it. Why not, right? Application windows, Chrome tabs. I think I got to open it first. Hold on. Let me open it first. But yeah, let me show you the original cover. Why not? Let's actually show you the original logo and stuff since we're here and we're talking. I forgot that I could do this. So let me grab that stuff off of my folders and I can open that up for you guys. Again, thank you for sticking around. I've never done this before, so if it's boring or if it was not as exciting, please give me some feedback on how to make it better, because I want to be good at this stuff. We've got the commentary for issue 2 coming up immediately when I'm done this broadcast, and then after that, we're going to go into some other stuff. Okay, so let's see if we can get you my folder. All right, so share screen. And we're going to share application window, orange cone. All right. So now you see my crazy folder here, right? I have tons of stuff. So let's show you some Broke Down stuff. Broke Down. One of the cool things to show you in here is the original logo. Let me show you the original logo. That would be a cool thing for you guys to check out. So that was the original logo. That was the original logo that I created in 2007. I really liked it. It's very clear that it's and 4 Dead Bodies. We tried to modernize the logo, and that's what we did for issue when we finally launched it. But that was the original. Some great backers got this. This is the original ash can for Broke Down and 4 Dead Bodies. I do have some of those if some people would be interested in that. I know there's some mega fans out there who would be interested in that. It's pretty cool. It's got some of the original art. This was the original cover, just colored, basically colored. And Stephen actually did a new one. I know you guys can't really see these things. Actually, look at this. Let's go to this. Where is it? I'm showing you guys my dirty laundry here because I have folders that are crazy busy. What can I show you? What can I show you? Trying to find some cool stuff. Where is it? I apologize for the random talking here. Actually, let me show you guys. Where is it? Oh, here's some of the. I'm looking for the logos. Is what I'm looking for. Here was one of Jerome's first logos that he did. Let's see if I can minimize it. Okay. So that was the original logo. I actually really like that. I think it was really cool and modern. I don't know why I didn't go with it. Actually, well, looking back on it, I really enjoy it, but at the time I didn't. That's one. The other one that I have is here. This is one that he created. Up. Now it doesn't want to open. All right. Guess we won't show that one. You guys have seen that one. All right. Here's that. For their bodies. I think that's a cool one as well. I actually like all those logos now. Maybe because I've had mine for so long, I don't like it. But now that I'm looking at them, I love them all. I don't know why this goes black screen for that particular one. He must have saved it as a PNG or something. But yeah, I'm going to go. I think that's all the cool stuff I can show you. Let me see if there's anything that broke down. Oh, yeah, there's some sketches in here. Oh, no, there's some. So we got here. Some of the original art, some pencils. So this is some original pencils before we got all the colors, and they were inked. You got to remember, like issue 1 and 2. See, this is these are the original pencils. You can barely see them. But yes, that is it. We have wrapped up Broke Down in 4 Dead Bodies #1. Broke Down 4 Dead Bodies was always set to be a miniseries. So miniseries of 4 issues. Oh, the app didn't open, it's telling me. So yeah, thank you for coming along. Thank you for checking it out. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you guys have any questions, please leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thank you.